Second.
Alright.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Shorewood Water Association. We're in need of a well. We do minutes.
Yep, so there is a copy, everybody should have, there probably wasn't enough copies, I apologize, but these minutes were emailed out prior, but those are the minutes from our last public meeting that we had in August. They were approved by the board members, but those are copies for your records. So that we do not have to approve them at this time, they've already been approved by the board members. So, but they're just being shared for you.
And on the pump house.
And then the pump house, yes.
Alright.
Just introduce ourselves.
Okay. Chris Adolan, President.
Matt Anderson, board member.
TJ Canacho, Vice President.
And Tina Heidelberger, clerk.
New business?
Yep.
All right, today, Colin, let me actually get his real title out here. Our district engineer for the Minnesota Health Department was taking tests today. Does it quarterly. Good talk with him. He realized we're moving forward. He's got the plan for the pump house rebuild. Well, we are waiting for our grants to go through for trout. We're not supposed to spend any money until trout, or until our grants get in. We can hand that out. I talked to the grant people today and stuff. We gotta get some tax ID numbers. We're approved for another $15,000. Went good and everything, so. But yeah.
So in addition to the 10,000, we get another 15?
Yeah,
That's great.
so,
There was actually 10 before that too. So
Yeah.
We have 35,000 in grants.
yeah.
Beautiful.
But yeah, people at Minnesota government, usually you go the other way, but these people have been super great, helpful, telling you which direction to go. They've just done great to work with for the grant stuff, so.
And it's all through one system.
Yeah,
too,
we've
that
got,
the state directs you to one kind of clearinghouse for grants.
We have Swift is who I'm working with today. I think they kind of do the billing side of it. The actual, Colin, I went through Abby, Minnesota Health Department. And today was Monica. Monica was with Swift today, just trying to get the paperwork done for as far as the accounting side of the grant, so we can get the money. Other than that, as far as new business, like I said, we're waiting for grants before we spend any money. For trout's on standby, chomping at the bit. They've got a plan. They're ready to go, so.
And that was approved at our meeting
In
to go
August.
trout in August.
In August, yeah. Trout was approved. Yeah, tonight's meeting, everything was all approved, so.
In front of you, there should be a budget proposal. We've never had a budget before for the water district, so this is something new. But we're just trying to kind of get a baseline for everything. So if anybody has any questions about that, we're just trying to establish, currently we don't have any insurance on any of the infrastructure. So I've requested a bid from the same company that we use for the sanitary district to give us a bid for covering, so like the wellhead, the pump house, any of that infrastructure, so that if something happens, we'd at least have some insurance to fall back on, because that's nothing that we've ever done in the past. So I'm waiting for a bid from them, a total. I'm guessing that someone's probably going to come out and look at our pump house, which, Joe, we have approval to redo the pump house, correct? From the state of Minnesota, they approved.
Yes, they approved the plan.
Yeah, so we would probably maybe want them to reassess that once it's rebuilt, just so that we don't, because the way it looks right now, it probably wouldn't be worth very much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
touch base on a new pump house? Is there,
Yeah,
probably some sort of a tentative plan and what type of building? Or have you gone that far in the works with it?
Well, it's literally redoing the inside and redoing the outside. It's
Got it.
not a new building,
Down to the studs.
down to the studs and then put it back together.
Okay, so we're not putting a bigger infrastructure building, it's just, it's a remodel.
Refurbished, I guess, yeah.
It's, yeah, it is in dire need.
Okay. Do you want to mention about the property and the process that we went through with the process of the easement for the property? I don't know if you did mention that? All right, we're just only trying to get.
So we had to get an easement from the sewer district to run the well. The state actually says they wanted us to purchase, that wasn't an option, and we had to get an easement. Joe got the easement going through, I don't remember the name of
For
it.
show.
Yeah. And they drew it up and everything. I believe you approved it.
Yep, that was all approved. I just wanted to make sure and touch base. So that was brought up at the last meeting.
Yep.
And that process, the water, Shorewood Water went through the whole process to develop the easement on that property. So,
So that's done, drawn up. We have it. Thank you.
yep.
Where is that new wellhead supposed to be at?
50 yards north?
50 yards north of that.
Okay.
The pump house.
There now, there's a stake.
Kind of outside in front of Dreisig's house almost.
Yep,
Exactly.
yep, down to the bottom, down there, almost bottom.
First big trees there.
Now, up near the road or right in the center or what?
It's closer to Drivex,
Closer to the road?
closer to the road, yeah.
East road, yeah.
But Colin mentioned to Chris today that he didn't like that location because it's a low area.
It's not the lowest, but it is down the hill.
So I don't know, so Trout, during their plan review, MDH is gonna come out and review the site. And just hearing what he said, that Colin said there might be some changes on where the wellhead will be located.
Well, it's not that important, but it is important.
Well, it's costly wise it is, yeah. The more we have to dig farther away, the more it's gonna cost, so. And we don't have that
So
price
it's
yet.
not defined that it's gonna be right there.
Right.
So what's wrong with the current well?
It's got radium in it, and the MDH regulates radium. And they say we either need to drill a new well or get a water softener.
So if we drill a new well, what happens if that comes up with radium?
It probably will.
Well,
It's
that's
got- We're back to
just
square one again.
it. Yep.
It's going into a different part of the reservoir. It's a shallower part. And they've dug down, I believe, and tested it. And it came, right, Joe? It came back really, really low.
Shallower well in that area, and it had less radium
Less radium.
in it. Less
I mean,
radium.
like, when you say test another well in that area, like. I mean,
Somebody
something else.
Somebody else's well.
Yep, it's
Somebody-
not on our
So how
system.
far away were they from their current well? Because this new well's only gonna be, what, 50 yards away?
Yeah, but
We're gonna be in the same boat.
Okay.
Different depth though, so this
Yeah.
one's a lot
He
shallower.
says we're in the same boat, so we'll go with that.
And so when we met in August, one of the things that we talked about was, we had 3 different options, basically. We could either dig a new well, or we could have each resident decide to just dissolve the water district and everybody dig their own well. So then that would be up to the choice of the residents. And anybody could still do that at this point. If you yourself said, hey, I don't want to mess with this, I don't want to deal with it, I'll just dig my own well, that is completely, nobody is tied to, like, nobody's committed to doing this. But, so that was one of the other options, is that you could dig your own well. Another option was that you could separate out and have, if you have under 10 homes?
We'd have to have 3.
Okay, so we'd have to separate out and have 3 separate wells. And if you have less than 10 residents on a well, then it's not regulated by the state. We don't have to do testing, we don't have to do any of that. But one of those, so if we have 3 different wells, you have 3 different residents that have to agree to put a well on their property and share it with 9 other people. So that gets tricky where if, let's say Al says, okay, I agree to put a well on my property and, these 9 people are gonna be on the well together. So then what happens if you're responsible then, Al is, to access or get money from those residents every year for using that well. If something goes wrong, how do you make sure that all 10 people actually pay for it when it's just privately between 9 or 10 people? Is when he goes to sell his property, is somebody gonna be like, absolutely not, I don't wanna buy this property because I have 9 other people that are sharing my well. So it sounds like a great idea to just not have to deal with the state, but putting 9 or 10 wells in 3 different, dividing it out isn't the best option either. That's why it was voted, people didn't want to do that option. If we do a water softener system, it is very expensive to do that. Not only the expense to put it in, but the maintenance down the road. And also there's water, and you'd have to help me with this, Joe, but so when it cycles, when that water, that drainage or whatever the excess that comes off, goes into the sewer. So then we have another issue. So that's why the water softener system wasn't the preferred option either.
Cost, sewer district, pumping more water into sewer district, which is not a good thing. Yeah, and a big expense.
And there was a third option, which was reverse osmosis. That was the most expensive. That was even more than the salt.
At that point, you're at the city of Rush City, at their level.
Why would a third well have to be put on private property? Why couldn't it be put in our
Because
area?
it's all private property. We had to get an easement from the sewer district.
Well, sure, but I mean,
So the 3 wells, so we did an easement to get the well.
just.
So if we were to separate out into 3, I don't know that it has to be on 3 personal properties. I would say we could do 3 easements. And 3 houses out of the 33 need to put their name on that easement.
Yeah, and then you have to have somebody
Does that make sense?
managing that private property.
Tied into the main line is what you're talking about.
It's cutting off lines
So
too.
to have a well, it either has to be on your property or you have to have an easement. It just can't be out in the, can't just be out in the park.
Well, the second well we're putting in now,
Is on an easement.
Is on an easement.
from the, okay, why couldn't we do the second one on an easement also?
The 3rd one down the road if we're gonna do.
Right.
Yeah,
How about-
that's the plan.
How about down in the center of the circle?
That's the plan.
Down in the center of the circle, maybe?
Well, that's where the original well started, and then we backed it up this way, towards the well.
Are you talking down by your
I'm
guys'
talking
house?
about at the end, south end of Shorewood there, in the center circle.
Oh, well, then you gotta get power, you gotta get a pump house,
Sure.
all that, so. There's
Then-
nothing saying we can't do that.
And it's another 70 grand at
But
least.
the
each
thing
one.
is all the
Each.
three lines are up in that main pump house. To tie in and separate those lines, that's where it's gonna have to happen.
Mhm.
And we could tie into a line down by the small circle and.
And that could
cap it at
pick
the
up
pump
10
house.
houses real easy.
And cap it at the pump house, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of options.
Yeah.
That's where this board is leaning to, is 3 wells.
Right.
And get away from the state.
But we've got to save up the money first.
Yep, so one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time.
Do you actually know where your hot south separated the 3 lines? No, nobody's ever figured that out. That's
Well,
it.
when they pulled the wellhead off this summer, I asked them to shove a line down the 3 lines and locate it. They're gonna try and locate those 3 lines when they pull the manifold off.
So there is 3 existing zones, we know that, but nobody knows how they're separated.
Okay.
So one zone might have 3 houses on it, another zone might have 15 houses on it, and the other might have the remainder. So you would still have to do additional explorational work and possibly reconfigure that infrastructure to support the 3 wells.
Mhm.
And these talks are still going on,
Oh, yes,
but I think the process that you're talking about is we're gonna start with the second one to separate and keep moving forward.
I think that's a good start.
We're not sealing the original well. We can use it 32 hours a year, I think. So we're gonna have 2 wells after, 2 live wells.
Well, that gives us backup well.
Yep.
Gives you a backup well, which
We need to
NVH
have.
has asked for that for years, I guess.
Right.
So we're satisfying that. Yeah, we're hoping we don't get radium for 5-10 years in this shallower well. The well that's in there originally now is deep, it's in bentonite, which is known for radium. I think we're coming up almost 50 to 75 feet.
How deep is the current well?
162 maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking.
That sounds familiar.
150-ish, yeah.
So you're going down like 100 feet now.
That's the plan that we came up with. If we do hit radium and the group doesn't want to do a third well, then we're stuck doing a water softener, which would require a garage, a 24 by 24 garage, heated. We'd have to run the supply line to there, and then run a supply line back to the well house where it splits off into 3 lines. We got to get the discharge to go into the sanitary
I
somewhere.
mean, with the
Softener.
Softener.
Yeah.
Discharge is down by the canals. There's nothing that runs down the center of the park, so it's boring quite a ways to get the discharge into the sewer.
Yeah,
So
you're ripping up somebody's yard.
It's quite an expense to do the water softener, but I mean,
I don't see that.
well, I don't want all soft water, you know.
And Colin did mention today about testing people's houses, and I just kind of let him talk.
Testing
Well,
for
most
what?
people have softeners.
Assuming so.
That's what's so frustrating about this, because we did survey everybody, and I think it was everyone had a water softener.
Yeah.
Or there's one person that didn't have a softener already.
So softener takes
Yeah.
care
And the
of it.
state doesn't care,
Yeah.
because they're in
But
charge
they-
of taking care of us.
But they
So-
do, he did mention about testing to go from there.
Testing
said-
for what?
Individual.
Individual house, because he tests the water.
Who would test that water?
The health department.
So they want to come around, the health department wants to set up a schedule, or do they want to run that through the water?
I didn't push it,
You just let them talk.
I just let him talk.
Okay.
So
I
I
just thought
do
I'd
that,
mention
I
it.
test.
Yep.
Chris, TJ, I have authority to test there, my house, you know, so we're testing individuals every 3 months.
Yes.
And your house, your testing is clear.
Good, yeah.
That's because you're going through a softener.
Yep.
No, it's
No.
coming out before the softener.
Before the
I'm testing
softener.
before the softener.
And your water's
But they're
okay.
not testing radium there, they're just testing nitrates
Oh.
and all that, so.
Well,
Colin,
okay.
Colin MDH that was out there today is the one that tests for the radium. And that
Okay.
comes right from the well house.
And there was a public notice sent out to all residents yesterday, and it's posted on the pump house, so if you didn't get it, let me know, but it should be, we're required to notify, and this is not a change. We're required to notify residents every time we get a result that results in radium. So, it's safe to drink, but that's why we're in this situation.
Today it's safe to drink.
Yes, it is safe to drink.
Well,
That's what they
glass of
say.
water.
That's what they say, but we gotta fix it, so it makes no sense.
Update, shed update, we talked about that. That's going down to the studs, we'll have to refurb that, and volunteers are welcome when we do this shed rebuild. We might need some electricians.
Way smarter than I am.
Or a carpenter?
Yeah. So I think we should be able to pull together, a good crew on that and everything, so.
Do you know when you're gonna be doing this?
After the well,
Okay.
spring,
Okay.
warm out, we don't need the heat anymore is when we're shooting, so. April sometime. Grants, we've got 35K approved. I got one for $15,000 yesterday approved. I gotta get a tax ID number. We should be sitting fairly well on that. Like I said, everybody's been super helpful on that, so.
How much did we have in August? So how much more have you been able to get since then?
So 35,000 technically, well,
Well, I think we had 20 last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we almost doubled what,
Yeah.
since last time.
And two, I know there was a lot of discussion around the grant process and are we seeking grants? And yes, we are. This is the same thing that the Mockers had dealt with also, was that it's not as simple as just applying for a grant. The grants are very specific as to what they'll approve. So it's not gonna be just a basic water grant. Yes, there's money out there, but it has to apply to the wellhead.
Yeah,
Yes.
it
So it's-
involves a wellhead, it involves,
None of the money can go to fixing up the well house.
no, nothing goes to the fixing the well house, so that's kind of.
It's all new drilling and
Yep.
under structure.
Correct. Yeah, just,
How much money did we have at the association have at the end of August?
At the end of August, let me see here, I have the bank statements right here. Okay, so as of 8/31/25, we had $24,925.13 in our checking account. Our savings account, we had $42,663.55. So, as of today, those numbers are not much different. He made a $10,000 deposit as part of one of those grants that
Part of
we
the
have.
grant.
Yep, so, do you remember, it would be, so basically it'd be $34,497.66 in our checking, and $42,696.43 in our savings.
Got about 90,000 for that.
About, yeah, approximately. And do you have any more pending grants out there?
just the 15.
Okay,
Well,
another
the-
15.
The 15 and then the 10,000 we don't have yet.
That's the one that has to be used by 4/1 of
By April.
26.
Yep. So there's 25,000 that we don't have on hand. That's in grant money.
No, we can use that as a payment towards our well. Okay.
Well, digging,
The 10,000
The new
we have
well.
to use before April.
But I mean, even though the well isn't in yet, first of April, could we, if we contracted for the,
we just pay the contractor, yep.
We will have to ask the grant people that. I don't honestly.
What they flat out said was don't spend any money
Until we got. grant
until we have the grants.
In hand.
so that April 1st thing really don't count yet?
Well, that is a different grant. So we got a 10,000 grant and then there's a 15,000 grant.
Like a
So they're
double-edged,
two
isn't it?
separate grants.
Kind of like a double-edged sword, don't spend no money.
By the way,
That's-
the grant money to the state of Minnesota, it cost me $10 a month for my house in Redway. It flat out said right in my water bill, 10 grand for grant proceeds for improvements on wells, so. We're all paying for it, no matter what we do, so.
But the grant, the 10,000 that needs to be used in April was something that John received last winter,
Last year.
last year. So
Okay.
Chris applied for it, when the grants reopened again, Chris applied for it again. So we got two grants out of the same thing.
Where can we spend that?
On the well and plumbing, not on the house.
And if we don't put in a new well, where are we gonna spend our money on the well?
We are gonna put in a new well.
By April 1st?
No, we have to pay for it.
We can, well, that's a question to ask. We can pay ahead
We can pay
for
now.
stuff we're gonna have done.
I honestly, I don't know if we can do that with the grant money. We might have to spend it first, get an invoice, and send that to the Department of Health. That's usually how a grant works, they just don't hand you the cash.
No, I appreciate
They
that.
must be something done.
So,
But luckily, we have the
Something we'll have
funds
to
to
ask
pay
for.
for it up front.
Yes.
Okay.
because I don't know the answer to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So Tina, the way you're explaining this, we can pay for that out of our.
Out of
recoup that
our
money.
$67,000, we can pay for it out of there, get the invoice, and then we can be reimbursed. Hopefully, that's what we're hoping, is what Joe's saying. We have to clarify all that, because,
Well, I think Trout will work with us, they know we got grants, so
Yeah.
as soon as we get an invoice from them, we'll submit it.
which was part of the reason we went with Trout, because they deal with the Minnesota Department of Health. They're a big company that deals with MDH. This isn't their first go
Okay,
around
so I
with it.
understand that grant money is all you're talking about, the $10,000 we already received.
Yeah,
All right, we can't use any of that $10,000
except for a what?
except for well, but we can use our money
Yes,
and buy the new well.
correct.
Yeah,
But when you're filling out the well, or the grant forms, they're actually asking, how are you going to pay for it? They're asking if it's out of your pocket, if it's extra grants. and we're paying for it out of pocket.
So your question there, I don't know that we can pay for it, and then I don't know that they're gonna give us the grant money. I think the grant money needs to go to the contract.
Correct.
To trout.
Correct.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question we need to ask, because I know what you're saying, we could get this all done, pay for it, and then,
The money's gonna go into our account.
I
That's
don't-
what I got today.
oh, it is
Yep,
coming
and
into our
then we
account.
pay, because they actually
Well, I
asked
don't think there's
Howard.
anything wrong with spending our money for the well, you know, just because it's our money versus a grant money. I mean,
Well, I just wanna make sure we get the grant money, I don't wanna spend our money and they say, well, you shouldn't have done it that way.
well, no, that's a question I was
Because that
asking.
does happen.
Okay.
So that's a question we will ask for.
Okay.
Seems like, it sounds like the state, huh?
Yeah, well, that's,
So who decides when they start drilling the well? Us or Trout?
well, Trout's gotta go through plan review through the state to get it approved first. And then once they get it approved, we gave Trout $1,000 to start the well.
Okay.
So once Trout has the plan, he hands it over, they look at it, look at the spot.
And they wanna drill it in the winter time when it's frozen.
They do. Okay,
Okay.
interesting.
When the ground is frozen, they wanna drill it.
Nice.
Hopefully make less of a mess.
They want to drill when the ground is frozen?
Yeah. I don't know if it's
6
frozen
good
or
months of
not
that.
or not. I hope it's frozen when it's frozen.
Just, we already talked, the
Yeah.
budget was presented.
So do we need to approve the budget?
Yep, we need a motion to approve the budget and someone to second that. That's the one thing that we do need tonight.
Anyone want to approve the budget?
Well, does anybody have any questions about the budget?
Yeah, just the 8,600 for maintenance and repairs, just any idea of exactly what that might be, or?
Building, isn't it?
No, that's if we lose a well.
Okay.
You know, if we lose the pump, that, you know, we need, what was it, 10 grand, I think, this last time to change that pump out?
Okay.
So you
So it's
base
not-
that on historical data from the year before,
Yeah.
maintenance costs that we had?
It's just, it's out there as maintenance, we don't have it
Yeah.
dedicated to,
Just,
it's
okay.
just for
Got
the
it.
well, yeah.
Okay.
And in all honesty, Derek, when we were doing this, like I said, there's never been a budget before. So
Yeah.
that's literally what we did, is we went through all of our past electric bills, like we just started to go through kind of the same thing we did with Shorewood.
No.
Just figuring out what our expenditures have been over the past 2 years and basing the budget off of that.
Yeah.
And then giving a little bit of leeway so that we have some coverage. And then adding, like, we didn't have anything for office supplies, so I was just going off of what I spend on postage on average and going from there. So, again, it's all estimation. It'll be a work in progress. Next year, we'll have more data to go back on, but it's kind of a guessing game at this point as to what we're gonna need to spend.
Good start.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Was that you, Derek?
Yep.
Okay.
Second?
I'll second. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed?
Any other questions before we adjourn? Do you guys have anything else to share?
Yeah, I guess, I mean.
How about establishing some kind of a schedule for meetings?
Yeah, that's a great idea. So, yes, it was brought forward about having this annual meeting that we did it now. We did that, we decided that back in August, because looking at our bylaws, that's another thing is we're trying to do is, everything's been kind of loosely followed in the past.
Sure.
And we're trying to be more consistent. So we looked at our bylaws and it did say that we have to have an annual meeting. In the bylaws, it doesn't say it has to be January, so we can change that going forward. But again, I think that there needs to be, it's not gonna be just once a year, especially now with drilling a new well, we're gonna wanna meet on a more consistent basis. I don't think it's necessary to meet monthly, like what we're doing, but maybe as we get closer, there'll be other meetings that'll come up. Do you have suggestions, George?
Yeah, I'm just suggesting that you don't necessarily, I don't think we should set up a plan agenda, but I think it'd be good to set up a procedure like our association down south there, I mean, if they're gonna have a meeting,
Mhm.
they have so many days before the meeting to be notified by mail or some direct method, personal contact type of thing, that the meeting is going to be on this day at this time at this place.
Yep. Yep, and we can certainly do that. We can do it. Every person in the district we have an email for, except for one person does not have email. But his son lives next to him, so he can communicate for him. But other than that, I mean, we can, if we want to set a guideline of, in the bylaws, it's 21 days that we have to give notification. That's what the
Okay.
bylaws say.
Okay.
Yep, and so technically, you've been notified, the group had been notified more than 21 days before because we set this meeting last August. So, but going forward, you'll get a notification prior to, at least 21 days beforehand by email.
I think in the past, I don't know that we've ever been notified much more than a week or so.
Yeah.
And word of mouth.
So the way I understand this, Tina, is the bylaws basically just say you need to have at least one annual meeting,
At least one annual meeting.
but you don't necessarily need to meet monthly like the sewer district does.
No.
Because that's regulated differently.
Yep.
So you can set up whatever schedule you want for meetings.
We just need to notify residents 21 days before.
Okay.
Right,
So,
that would
yep.
work fine.
Yep,
I like the idea of having an annual January meeting,
yep,
because this is when the Shorewood meeting, that's annual
Yep.
as well.
yep.
And,
Well, and that's the fiscal year is January,
Right.
so that's when the budget should, so.
it just
So-
sets the year off rolling with
Yeah.
all bases covered.
If we wanted to, we could move it to like October, only because that's usually when budgets are approved for the next upcoming year. If we want to move it, if that's something that people want to do, so that the budget's being approved prior to. Granted, we haven't spent any money this year so far, but that would give us time to approve the budget before the year starts.
I think that'd make a lot of sense, because then people are still here.
Yep, possibly, yeah.
Before they head out,
Yep.
and you're working right with current dollars right at that time too,
So
planning
can
and
we-
spend.
Can we have someone make a motion to have our annual meeting changed to the first Tuesday of October?
I will.
Could it be the-
George?
Could it be November?
I'll second that.
Or is November too late, George?
No, the two are gone
Is it
already.
too late?
Yeah.
November.
I just,
Well,
Well, I
I'm
was-
just asking. It'd be
You
better
can't
in
arrange it
November.
for everybody.
No, I know, you can't, I'm just
Well, because
asking.
I go on a vacation in October, so I don't think I want to have it that, I mean,
I just asked
Yeah.
for it.
no, that's a
October's
reasonable
fine.
question.
Can't plan around everybody.
It just happened to be this year, I got out of here before November.
I think it's also a good idea that we keep the meeting on the first Tuesday of said month, so that we can have this meeting before the sanitation meeting, so they're both together, so people have the opportunity to attend
We
both
have meetings
meetings.
during the day. I mean, that's what everybody seems to indicate that I listen to is, why do we have to come at night to have a meeting?
Because a lot of us
We all have jobs.
Or Saturdays besides, Saturday would be a good day.
I work on Saturdays though too, so for my other job, but.
I think a next natural meeting would be April, the first Tuesday in April, because that would be after this grant money should have been spent properly, right?
Okay, so do you want to make a
So,
motion to have a
I'll make a
meeting?
motion for our next meeting to be the first Tuesday of April.
Hold on, when was the annual meeting? Let's
Yeah, but point of, I think you already had a motion.
October.
For October, but he's
For
saying to have our next, to have a meeting, another meeting scheduled for the first Tuesday in April, just to touch base before, like with all this grant money, so that we can
Jared
kind
is
of get
saying you
people.
need to approve the
Just to
October.
be technical, then it would have
Who
to be an
seconds the
amendment
October?
to the original
somebody
motion,
second the
because we
October?
haven't voted on it.
Yeah,
So let's finish that first.
okay,
So we'll vote on the annual meeting being the first Tuesday in October.
We had it.
and that was George and Derek,
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
so that needs to be motion carried. Anybody objecting to
Anybody
that?
opposed?
Opposed? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, motion carried.
First Tuesday.
No, first Tuesday, first Tuesday.
And then the next one, the next proposal was, the motion was to have a meeting in April, the first Tuesday in April.
Correct.
It was by
I
Matt.
first the motion.
Okay,
I'll second that.
thank you. Anyone opposed? Motion passed, okay. Just from a housekeeping, oh, there is one thing we need to discuss. the fees. So right now, everyone pays, it's always been $400 a year. If you pay, like, if the bills come out in February, if you pay in full by March 1st, you can pay $350. I'm asking someone to make a motion to keep that a flat fee of $400 without like a discount, an early pay discount.
But that's kind of, I guess we should have discussed it before we approved.
We should have, yes.
The budget, because that's what we have in our budget, not to have a discount this year. It's just 400 straight across the board. That's what.
Okay, Al? Anyone second?
Is this just the one-time payment, or you're letting people split it?
Not split it because we have an issue with, we still have people that haven't paid their bill in general
I
from
agree.
last year. So
Well, can you put that on the
we
taxes?
cannot assess it. We're not like the sanitary district, so we don't have the ability to assess it. So the problem is that if someone doesn't pay, they're just,
Do they know they're not paying it? 'Cause
They
I
know they're
remember
not
there was
paying,
somebody
yes.
that Didn't realize.
Can we
about it.
disconnect their water then?
I don't think we can because it's a basic, it's a,
Well,
Assessment.
every
An
house should
assessment.
have a curb stop.
yeah. I mean, we could turn the curb stop off, but.
Have we asked?
The water company will shut your water off in the
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send, those parties, I'm going to send a certified letter this month, just basically saying you need to pay. The other thing we can look at to incentivize people to pay on time is put a late fee on there. Because if people don't pay on time, you know, we're counting on this money to be paying for our new well. So if people don't pay in full, then, you know, this is part of our budget, what we're looking to spend to cover these expenses.
Well, it's paying for the operation and that service.
Exactly.
Correct.
So,
So now you're asking for,
I'm,
no, it's one time, you're not gonna say you can pay 200 this
no,
quarter?
we're just gonna pay, it's gonna be $400 in full by March 1st every year, just so that it's,
I mean,
It's done.
that's kind of a big hit for some people though.
it is. So,
So it's a little well.
Do we have how many people pay in segments?
honestly, there's probably, I would say, 8 to 10 residents who pay 200 now, 200 later. Most people pay the 350 right up front when it was 350.
How many don't pay at all?
Right now, we just have one,
Okay.
but it's usually 3 that we have an issue with people not paying.
Okay.
But the other 2 have paid and hasn't been an issue, but we still have one outstanding delinquent account.
Part of doing it this way will also make it so we don't have to vote later to increase additional things.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
trying to just do something clean, otherwise it just opens up the door for more fees.
What are you gonna do for a late fee?
Whatever's on the district,
Huh?
whatever's on the sanitary district.
So the sanitary district does 5% of your past due bill every month that it's late. So, which it's gonna add up quick with $400. So, I mean, we can impose something like that. You could do a flat $20 a month every month that you don't pay. I'm open to suggestions here, or people just, if people don't want to see a late fee, that's fine too. But I guess I'm looking for everybody's input here on what you think is appropriate, because
I don't think we should charge a late fee.
you don't think we should? Okay.
Because I think if they're not paying, they just didn't maybe realize they didn't pay it or something.
For 10
Because
months?
now you're gonna try to
Yeah,
get
but I
20
think
more
you
bucks
can-
out of me when you can't even
Can we
get
shut their
400.
water off?
Like, well, I'm gonna pay it.
I
so-
know, but.
No, you wouldn't do that to somebody anyway, so why
But the
make,
city would.
but we're not. the
Or do we
city.
just give a notification that it was due and you have a grace period of another 30 days?
Yeah,
Because if we're worrying about the forgot, then we can kind of encompass that and give a little grace period. What we're really looking at is the people who aren't paying
Right.
and affecting everybody else.
We don't want to shut anybody's water off.
No.
But it's 7 months past.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's you can give them a grace period, you know, you remind them, and then you've got 30 days and late charges will be.
But we still can't go after them for the late charges.
Right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I mean, it could be one of those things where it just never gets paid.
Correct.
You have to have something documented, we gotta get something in writing, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, 400 straight, there'll be a $20 late fee with, a 30-day grace period? Is that what you-
Anything, so 30, 60, 90 kind of
30,
thing?
60, 90? Does that sound fair?
So the motion right now, just so I'm reiterating this, is the motion is that there will be a $400 flat fee, no early pay discount, due on March 1st every year. If you are more than 30 days past due, you will have a $20 late fee when you are over 30 days past due for every month, or not.
Can we also send out a reminder in February that your bill is due?
Yep, everybody will get a bill in February. Yep, and the accounts in the past that have not paid they're sent by email, so they're sent by email and by mail. When someone gets past due, I send them a mailed copy as well. So,
I think what you meant by the $20 is the 5%, right? You want to do 5%?
it would you be, yeah, I mean,
Because we should be clear, that's 5%.
5%?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the motion then, or who's making that motion?
He made the original motion,
Al.
so it would be a friendly amendment to that.
Who made the
motion.
original motion? Sorry, Al. Okay, sorry, thank you. So Rich, you're seconding it.
I made an amendment to the
Amended.
flat fee for the 400 of the late fee process.
So flat fee of 400, late fee 5%. Okay. That's seconded technically with, amended that way. Does anyone oppose that?
5% monthly.
Monthly? Okay. Anyone oppose? Motion passed. Okay. Thank you. Yes, and bills will be coming out on February 1st for 2026.
Any other questions? Statements? Feelings?
I just want to say thank you to John Mayer and his wife Jody. They have been carrying this ball for a long time and have done a lot of work to get us to the position where we are now, to be able to pay for this well and continue on and not lose our well. So I just want to say thank you to them.
I want to say thank you to this group for picking up the ball and reorganizing and, start getting this organized and moving down the right path, because that's what it also needed.
Yeah, we got a long ways to go yet. We'll figure it out.
But there are 2 openings to the board, and it'd be nice to fill them.
Anyone?
And if anybody wants to be an operator, let me know.
And volunteers for rebuilding the pump house. We're gonna need them, please.
I'll make some food today.
Scott? Thank you.
If
You're always
I'm
willing to
available,
help.
I'll help.
Huh?
I said if I'm available, I'll help.
He's available.
Thank you, Derek.
He's got nothing but time.
All right.
Shall we close the meeting? Adjourn it?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Here we go.